Recognize the gentleman from Wisconsin, Mr. Fitzgerald, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. For about 150 years, state insurance regulators and laws have regulated insurance companies. The Federal Insurance Office has grown increasingly aggressive in collecting data from insurance companies, most recently issuing a proposed data collection to assess climate-related financial risk. FIO intentionally chose to not collaborate with state regulators on this climate data call. Treasury's own proposal concedes it could take 350 hours for the industry to produce the data. That is why I plan, and I think some other members of the committee will be part of this, to repeal the FIO subpoena power in the coming weeks. Mr. Theodoro, can you just quickly discuss the Federal Insurance Office, their accumulation of power in recent years?
Yes, thank you, Congressman Fitzgerald, for the question. Indeed, the Federal Insurance Office was created as part of Dodd-Frank because it was thought that insurance companies were in part responsible for the global financial crisis, which was not the case. It was banking and non-bank lending institutions. And the role in statute of the FIO is to monitor the insurance industry. There's no regulatory powers there, but as you have suggested, Congressman, there has been more intrusion and requests, data calls, and I think duplicative data calls, because most of the large insurers, especially the publicly traded ones, already make detailed, granular climate disclosures, either in their 10K or in other publications or disclosures. So to me, it's disturbing that it's like the nose of the camel is in the tent and then the rest of the body is going to follow. It strikes me as an agency that's looking for a purpose.
Right. Because
monitoring, writing reports hasn't helped the industry that I have seen in a material way.
Yeah, Ms. Huey, can you talk about the importance of giving communities flexibilities of more self-sufficient and their ability to protect themselves in the face of things like the floods and wildfires and tornadoes? I mean, this is what the industry is looking at is, you know, what are the risks associated with what we've seen, not necessarily in climate change, but just some of the extreme weather that we've seen?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for the question. Local decision-making is critical as local experts are more in tune to the local conditions and the needs of those communities and municipalities. But with that authority must come the flexibility to do what makes sense for the community. For example, in the codes arena, local governments must retain the ability to amend model codes to accommodate local conditions and cost-effectiveness concerns, which include consideration of risk and reasonable steps that can be taken to reduce those risks. Communities must also be open to reconsidering local zoning and helping developers overcome the NIMBYs and other challenges so that development can occur in places that are best suited for community growth and where much of the market needs it to be.
Very good, thank you. Mr. Chair, I'll just ask unanimous consent to enter Department of Energy press release into the record. And I also, I request that this be, I think the featured press release from DOE is very telling. Mr. Bohr, does this rule, does the rule from DOE that we were talking about earlier in any way affect mobile homes? Does, you know, will this help anyone currently residing in a mobile home? I can't see where this would help them.
No, the rules would affect new homes, so no one currently in a home would be helped.
Will this help anyone currently residing in a manufactured home?
No, only new homes would be subject.
Yeah, so probably what you're telling me is that DOE probably doesn't even understand or fully understand that the rule that they've actually issued.
Yeah, I think their assumptions about the benefits are dramatically overstated.
There's probably an underlining misunderstanding about your industry, right? Can you just, you know,
we certainly feel so. The rules were promulgated that have some, well, they're based on site-built standards, and our process is it just doesn't work that way. We can get a lot of the benefits. We've done a separate study through the HUD committee, and we can get a lot of the way to where they're trying to get from energy efficiency, but with process-appropriate approaches.
Yeah, so this is real-world, tangible stuff. Whether it's 11%, like my colleague just referred to, or some other percentage of Americans that are living in manufactured homes, this is real to them. There's real costs associated with it,
Yeah.
And there's departments like DOE that, quite honestly, are out of touch with what's going on in the street. And that's really what this committee should be about. So thank you, and I yield back.
I thank the gentleman.